Good afternoon. Give everybody a minute here. How is everybody doing today? Hey, Jennifer. Hello, Erlene. Happy St. Patrick's Day today. Hello, Victoria. Is anybody celebrating with any St. Patrick's Day activities? We had the leprechaun had visited and so left a big mess today. I posted some pictures on my Facebook. And my daughter had set up, it was a village shooting gophers. Is that actually a thing? Hello, Christy. So she's made a village, and both her and her sister never wanted to set up traps for the leprechaun because I don't know, they thought it was inhumane or something. So they always decided, isn't that funny? She had so much fun with the glue gun and creating a whole little town. Best stress relief ever. Well, I guess you gotta, do what works, Arlene. There's probably lots of gophers starting to come out at this time. We actually went camping one time. I'm trying to remember the place. It was in Brooks, Kinbrook Island, maybe that's what it was called. And it was later in the summer, and there was so many gophers that it was like you couldn't even leave your campsite because they would be into everything. It was ridiculous. But otherwise, they're cute, I'm sure, if you don't have to deal with them. So this is the card we're going to do today. I also posted a cute little St. Patrick's Day card using the Lawn Fawn Garden Gnome. And hello, Sandy. He is really cute, and I decided to make him into a little leprechaun with red beard and green accessories. And this is the stencil that we're going to do today. This was a little bit different color than I did here in this background, but it's a really cute stencil. You'd obviously, clovers I think are great for spring, and you don't have to use them just for St. Patrick's Day. But this was cute. And yeah, they are very destructive. Any little things like that just seem to be crazy when you have to deal with them. Hey, Arlene? All right, so that's a look at, this was kind of my inspiration, and this is where I went with this card, just using these cute, thanks. These are the new spring release from Lawn Fawn. So this one here is the window scene, and they had a winter one. This is the spring one, and I like that there's two different scenes. There's kind of an Easter one with the Easter eggs hiding. Then you've got the Happy Easter, Happy Spring, Sending Sunshine, Hope Your Day is Extra Special. And you've got that little flower that you can accessorize. And then the dies are the frame, and you get this little banner. I love using these banners, and I find the Lawn Fawn sentiments, lots of them will fit in here because they kind of size them so that they work together. And then there's the little die for that extra flower. And then these guys are so cute. They've had a few of them come out. So these are the tiny friends, and these are the tiny spring friends. So there's a winter. I think there was one for the fall, and then the dies that come with them. So I thought we'd use these. These are cute with like, there's little bunny ears, but there's also ones that are like perfect for fall, not for fall, for spring, that are not specifically Easter related. And then you've got the little umbrella. I think these are good for planners too, if you do stuff in your planners. So that's what we're doing, and we're going to play with that stencil. So for this background, I just used Twisted Citron. So I did it twice in the same color, and you can do that. The tiny people are so cute, aren't they? You got the winter guys. They're so cute. Like they're so tiny. And I think there's a little farm one that's just a really small set that also just came out. And what was I saying? Oh, you can use the same ink if you want, and when you stencil over a second time, you get a darker layer. So that's like, will give you just a really subtle difference. This one, I can't exactly remember what colors I used. I think it was Rustic Wilderness, and that looks different than that. So I don't, it might have been like Bundled Sage or something maybe. Hello, Stacy. But I thought we'd try Twisted Citron and Lucky Clover. So just for to change it up. And Stacy reminded me just before we went live that Spellbinders, the last couple of weeks I have showed you some new Spellbinders that are in the shop, and they have new releases that are on their website. We will be ordering some soon. So if there's any of the new Spellbinders you're looking for, you can email Sandy at scrapshotz.com and put in the subject line special order Spellbinders, so that she knows what you're looking for if you're looking to order something specifically. So they have some really cute like little pie sets that are coming out, and of course there's so many cute things that, you know, like it's hard to order everything and get it in the shop because you just don't know exactly what people are wanting. But if there's something you're looking for, they have alphas and they have flowers, and there's so many really cute sets. Like just have a look on their website and email Sandy, and if she can get it, she will bring it in for you. So just wanted to let you know to do that later, of course, after we make our card, right? And we can, and Stacey, if I forgot to say anything, let me know. Hello, Crystal. So we are going to stencil, and I'm going to show you how this two-part stencil works. I love clovers, and I think they're just so nice and spring-like. And I was thinking, like, I'm doing this in green, but these would look really cute, I think, in any colors, or you could do rainbow colors. Anyway, I think there's lots you can do. So there's two pieces to the stencil, and you put your Spellbinder special order in already. Yeah, what are you getting, Stacy? I know I have to look at it too because I think there's a few things. The pies I really like. So we are going to first stencil using the full clover. So you want to do that first, and then the second layer is going to be these little highlighted areas. So I'm going to grab my Make Art Station. This is another thing that I really am loving. And if it's something you want Sandy to bring in, just email. So I'm also going to try out, I haven't tried this before, but I heard really good reviews on the Spellbinders Best Ever Craft Tape. So this is the first time I'm going to be using it. It's usually I just stick washi tape on it, but I find depending on the strength of my washi or how old depends, you know, whether it sticks well enough or sticks too well and then tears the paper. So especially when I'm putting it through die cutter. So I thought this would be good to have, but I do like that with this Make Art Station, I just kind of put a little piece on at the top and then I use the magnets. So this is pretty easy to line up. Hello, Judy. How are you? All right. Stacy decided on the tulip paintbrush. Oh, I do love those. Yes. So there's, and 2 stitching dies. Nice. There's a whole bunch of paintbrushes that they have, spellbinders, and they've got all different designs and you can mix and match them. I think there's some with like butterflies too. Hello, Leanne. So anyway, if anybody just popped on and didn't hear me, I mentioned that Sandy's going to be placing her order for spellbinders. They have a new spring release, and so if you want to check their website, and if there's anything that you're looking for, just email Sandy with special order spellbinders in the title of the email, and she will order those in if she can get them. So it's nice to be able to do that because sometimes shipping and all that and customs, you don't have to deal with that. So this is Twisted Citron, and it's a nice bright green. There are seriously so many greens you could use. I think just pick a couple. You could go with more of like a blue green. The Paint Your World sentiment stamps. Oh, that would be really nice. Yeah. Hello, Lorraine. Red Deer. Awesome. Not too far from Calgary. All right, so all we're doing, I'm just using a brush. I find, especially when there's little details, the brushes seem to get into the little spots better than a sponge. You can use a sponge, but just once you use a brush, I'm kind of moving this around, you'll realize that the brush really gets into those little spots a little bit easier. So how's everybody's week? Have you had a good week? I can't believe it's Thursday already. My daughter, when she set up all her leprechaun houses, then she decided she'd leave like a questionnaire for the leprechaun. So I think he had to take quite a lot of time and answer a lot of questions because yeah, there's a lot of things that seemed important, very important to know. All right, so we've got that first. That was pretty quick. Hello, Darlene. And cute. Okay, so that's the first one. And distress inks, really all you need, or inks or oxides, you can wipe it down or you can just rinse it underwater and it rinses right off. She had so much fun, and she is okay to use a glue gun now, so that's been very exciting for her to be able to use a glue gun. Now all I'm doing, let me see if I can show you. On this, there's some etched areas so that you can actually just match it up, and it matches up pretty easily. And I'm just kind of matching it up here. You can see through the stencil, so it's pretty much, that's okay. And even if it was off a little bit, it is going to be okay. Then put that down. So with this one here, I just did a second layer of the Twisted Citron. And that was because I accidentally put that layer down first. And I just thought, you know what, we're just going to go with it. But for this card, I thought we would try the Lucky Clover on top. So all I'll do just to clean that off is just, this is a baby wipe that's just a little bit damp, and I'm just rubbing it on that. And if you feel like it was too damp, then you could rub it off on a napkin or paper towel, but it's pretty much dry. So then we're going to go in with the Lucky Clover. And I'm just going to go light at first because I don't know how dark I want it to be. So I'm just dabbing it on there. And I am so loving these stencil layering stencils that are out right now. It's like you end up with this piece of paper that looks like it's pattern paper, but you can customize it to whatever color. So the other stencil, or one of the other ones, I think Lawn Fawn had a few new ones, and if you look in the either it might be in the March new products on the Scrap Shotz website, or it could be in the February ones. You'll see all the new Lawn Fawn spring release. So they also have a flower stencil that is beautiful. So I'm just going lightly, and we can go over it again and do it a little bit darker. I think I probably will go a little bit darker, but I just kind of wanted to see how this looked. So the flower is a 3-part stencil, I believe, and it is really pretty. So just a peek under here. I think I do want to go a little bit darker, but oh, that is pretty. Like, can you see that? Yeah, that is very nice. It's very soft. Maybe we'll just go a tiny bit darker, but you could go really dark. And the ink always, whether you're using the ink or the oxide, it always softens. Sometimes it looks like just a tiny bit blotchy when you're doing it, but then it just softens and smooths out, which is nice. The weather has been definitely feeling more spring-like here in Calgary, so it just makes you feel so much more energized, I find. I don't like the getting used to the daylight savings time, but I do enjoy it being lighter later. So even though that doesn't look super dark, like look at the difference. So isn't that pretty? Yeah, so nice. And I love that the stencil, the 2-part stencil, you get some of these little shiny things that are the lighter green and some that are the dark. And you could take like lunar paste or some glitter paste, and you could go over this stencil again to just have those areas highlighted. That would look really good as well. Or Lawn Fawn has the new, I think it's the clear glaze, and that would look really nice. Okay, so we'll take our tape off, and we can glue part of this together, and then we'll do our COPIC coloring. Is anybody coloring along today? Are you crafting along? Yeah, the clear would be nice, wouldn't it? Thanks, Lisa. I was doing some stamping earlier with some layering stamps, just kind of playing around with those. And my daughter texted me from school and asked if I'd bring her friend a birthday card for his mom. So I'm like, sure. Isn't that funny? So it's not like I have cards that I can't spare. You're heading out soon. You're working. Lorraine. The green cardstock, Victoria. It's a nice spring green. There's just one that I had in my stash. I'm trying to slowly get a little bit more organized. It's hard because getting organized is a whole separate thing from crafting. So if you're in the mood to craft, or at least for me, like if I'm in the mood or I need to get a project done, then crafting, like I'm focused on crafting. If I'm focused, we'll do that after this. That's our little frame that die cuts out. So cute. It's really nice. And I think that'll be nice to use with lots of other stamps. So yeah, I'm going through some of my paper packs, and just they're older paper packs, and I'm trying to really be conscious of if it's paper that I'm going to use or not. And if not, I'm going to give it away to someone who can use it, and make some room or organize before I start doing other things. All right, so this is the cute little scene, and that's from the Lawn Fawn window scene spring. So that's that one. I thought that was cute, and it works perfectly with these little spring friends. But you could also, if you had like one of the little bunnies from Lawn Fawn, could go on here, or any of the animals, or you could just leave it as a scene, and you could even stamp something in here. So I don't do anything super fancy when I'm coloring like a larger, to me, this is kind of like larger open areas. And basically, I'm just adding a little bit of dark color on the areas that I want shaded. And I'm not really, planning a light source or anything like that. I'm just adding some shading so that I can tell there's a little bit of a difference. Oh, too much work, Tamara. I don't know. Don't they know this is your busy time? This is your busy crafting time? Victoria, watching your little guy who's sick. Oh no. Yeah, we had something like that a couple weeks ago, but it only lasted a day. So then I'm going over the darker area with a lighter color and just blending it out. So I've got these stamped with some Pink Fresh Detail Black ink. And that's all I'm doing, is kind of pulling it out. And then I can fill in that center and just smooth it out. And as it dries, it's going to smooth out too. But as you pull that out, it almost pulls the color, kind of like as if you were even watercoloring. You could watercolor this too. It would look really nice because then it's kind of all flowy. So our little people are going to be sitting on there, and that's going to smooth out as it sits there. You can always add more after, but I think we're going to leave that. And then let's do our background. So these two greens are YG 17 and YG 23. I find that they're a really nice grassy green or spring green. Hello, Ray. So we're just going to color in the sky, and this is a really light blue, and I'm not even going to worry too much about adding shading. I'm just filling in the background. So it's pretty easy. It's not anything that's too crazy. If you wanted to get really fancy, you could, do some sky, clouds, add in some details like that. I'm just filling it in. I'm going to let it dry for a second and then see if I feel like it needs to be smoothed out a little bit. But it's a pretty light blue, so it's just a sky. You could also do, like, it would be fun to do a little sunset or sunrise, or you could mask stuff off and do some clouds or a little rainbow in there. That would be cute as well, especially to have with that little umbrella. Okay, so it looks a little bit streaky there. I'm just going to go over it a little bit and just kind of smooth it out now. Hello, Jenny. So what is everybody up to on the weekend? My daughters do not have school tomorrow, so they have some stuff planned that they're doing. Otherwise, oh, I know there's a crop in the VIP group on Saturday if you're part of the VIP Creative Scrapbooker Club. So that'll be fun. I'm going to try and pop into that. Okay, so just going over it a second time kind of smoothed it out. So really, that was super easy. It was not any kind of crazy shading or anything like that. Just pretty easy peasy. For the tree, we're going to use E59 and first and do a little bit of our shading on the side. Just add a little bit of dark area on the side. And sometimes just letting it sit for a minute, but because you see, like with the grass, it sat for a minute and then it totally smoothed out. The VIP crop, hello Cindy, you're going to pop into that. And Victoria, you're going to take a road trip to Radium. Oh, nice. Oh, right, yes. Well, maybe you can just pop in and say hi. But Radium sounds really nice, and the weather's getting nicer, so yeah. Okay, then we're going to go to E37. So I decided that I would paint my nails green for St. Patrick's Day. But of course, like I wait until it's about like 10 minutes before I'm going live. And so I just grabbed some nail polish that was down here that my daughter had brought down. And it's like, oh my gosh, how old is this nail polish? It was like almost to the point where it was clumpy, but I was 3 nails in and I thought, I'm just going to go with it. So it's not like a professional manicure or anything, that's for sure. But it's in the spirit of St. Patrick's Day. It's kind of like, by the time I thought I should have really turned around, it was too late. I had to finish. Okay, so that's our E37. Oh, I know. I think it was a cheap dollar store nail polish now that I think about it. You want to go with Victoria to Radium? Yeah, no kidding. So this one's E33. This one is quite a bit lighter. And so what I'm doing is I'm filling in that area, and then I'm going to go back and blend. So I filled in the area, and then I'm just going to almost pull that color out and into the lighter area. Are you going to go to the hot springs, Victoria? I feel like it's been so long since we've been anywhere. All right, and same thing here. I'm going to fill in those open areas, and then I can just do the blending kind of where they meet. And then you can see like it's smoothing out and doesn't have to be perfect. Okay, for leaves, we are going to use, you could even just use one color, but it's easy and you get a little bit of shading and it's just kind of nice, a nice effect. The leaves color up really quickly. I like coloring when I'm watching something. So I'll usually put on Netflix or something like that. I started watching that Leap Year on Netflix. Have you guys watched that? I haven't finished it yet. I actually started it, and then it's just kind of like a romantic, not really a comedy, but I don't know what you'd call it. Kind of a Hallmarky feeling. So then we're just going to fill in with this YG23. And so I started it, and my husband had come home and said, "Do you want to watch something?" And I saw that movie called Leap Year. Let's watch that. It's like, I can't believe you started it without me, but I did not think that he would be interested in watching it. And I don't know. He said he likes it. So we had to turn it off because we had to go to bed. But it was cute. It was just a cute kind of feel good romantic movie. Okay, for the sun, you haven't been anywhere for 2 years. Yeah. Well, I hope that he's feeling better. The Last Kingdom. I have not watched that, Victoria, but it looks like it would be good. So definitely that's on my list. There's a little bit of a glare in the background there. Hopefully it's not too much. Okay. This is the Y17. It's amazing though how quickly kids recover. Like the few times that my daughter was not feeling well over this past, I mean, she's had one cold in the last 2 years. And it was like it lasted for 2 days and it was done. They just seem to recover so quickly. And then Y15 for sunshine. And then we're going to use the R22 and not even worry about any blending, but I'm going to leave some of that new Lawn Fawn sparkle glaze in the center. So these are really, really quick. And you could color them all different colors. I kind of wanted to match this to the saltwater taffy ink, so it's the R22, which matches pretty well. So that's our little scene from our window, which is really cute. And then these guys, they color up really quickly. I die cut them out and just stuck them on some paper. with a little bit of glue dots. So just using all those same colors that I already used. Hello, Betty. Yeah. Yeah, I think, Jenny, it's not normally the one, like a movie that he would pick, but we started it, so, we're finishing it. And Victoria, yes, I'm gonna have to check that one out. Yeah, a couple bad flu. Oh, thanks. Hello, Carrie and Tara. We are just doing some Copic coloring, putting our card together. We use the clover stencil. We're actually going to use this one right here. So Y17, I'm going to use on her hair. And then we're going to use, let's finish her hair first. Then we'll do the Y15 to color it in. Okay, then we've got, I have E02 and E00 I grabbed for the colors I'm going to use for their skin. There's lots of different combinations though that you could use. And their little arms, I'm not even going to do any shading on. I think they're wearing dresses, so I'm coloring their little legs, but you could have them wearing pants if you wanted. And this one is E00. And I'm kind of just, instead of swiping it, I'm just dabbing it on because it's just such a tiny little area. And so for the little hair, for this guy, sometimes I feel like I have to tap my iPad like there. You watched Dune again last night. You must have shut your eyes a bit the first time. So was it that you had forgotten it, Stacy? There's not a whole lot of movies that I like to watch a second time. There's a few. E33. Just to blend that in. Same as books. Like there's a few books that I would read a second time, but normally if I've read them, that's good. And then we'll actually go back. I did their shoes brown, but I don't know. Brown seems kind of sensible. Maybe they should have had like fun spring shoes. Do you think brown is too sensible for spring? Okay, then we have this BG13, and I'm just bringing in some spring colors. Even though it's different than the blue, it's still coordinating with the blue. The series Younger. I don't think I've watched that. I'll have to check that out. Oh, yeah, the Outlander books. I read, I think, the first couple of those, and they're very good. So I'm going to use the BG13, and you don't have to add shading to these. If you want to, you can. We did finish up Yellowstone, and I really liked that. And then I think Lorraine was saying that 1883 is like a prequel to Yellowstone. So that's definitely on my list to watch. I liked that. And we are watching Ozarks. sometimes that's hard to watch. I don't know. I'm not sure exactly where they're going with it, but yikes. All right, and then just bringing in this R22 again for her little dress. And then we're pretty much going to be done. R20. This is just a fun little card to color up. You could color up all the little characters and then stamp a few of these backgrounds. We'll give them some little cheeks. And then you could have a bunch of cute little cards. The flower stencil would be really cute for these as well. Okay, so let's glue on our background. Yeah, you're watching Ozark too. So I think this is the last season, but it's part 1 that's out, and then part 2 will be the last one. Oh yeah, Cindy, and I think it's on like through Amazon or something. You can, through Prime, you can sign up for like a free week or something like that. All right, so we're going to put it about here. I'm just kind of eyeballing it. Okay, so then I've cut, when I cut this out, obviously the frame comes out as well because it cuts out the frame with the little stitching inside it, which is cute. Let me zoom out again here. Adam Project, I have not watched that either. And it cuts around your window. So you're going to get a panel when you cut that out. I found it easier to stamp first and then cut out. I've also been watching that Lucifer show on Netflix, and his like witty humor just makes me laugh. Sometimes it's odd, like he kind of breaks out into like some kind of musical interlude or something, but all in all, it's pretty good for a laugh. All right, so then we have 2 layers of the frame, so it's just slightly popped up. Comments, I don't know why it won't. Let's see. Oh, sorry, Carrie. This was yes, and thanks, Victoria. A 2-part stencil. So first the layer was this. It's the new Clover stencil from Lawn Fawn. And then this was the second layer. So we did the first layer with Twisted Citron and the second one with Lucky Clover. Yeah. He is, isn't he? And even when he sings, like it's like he's a good singer, and yeah. I haven't finished it, but it's kind of one of those ones I just turn on if I'm crafting, and I can have a laugh and just enjoy watching it. All right, we are going to stamp. We'll stamp on here. So let's glue these little pieces down first. Like it's one of those shows where it's like he says something and you just like laugh out loud. I found it easier to use tweezers on here. I'm just going to lightly put that on because I might have to move it around because these guys are so tiny and so cute. And then this cute little watering can. You don't have to have it, but the little water coming out of it. Seriously, is that not cute or what? Thanks, Lorraine. Parks and Rec. Yeah, I haven't watched that. I started watching it, but I think it was because um, I just don't have time to watch everything. And if it's not something that Mike and I watch together, then it's kind of like I just watch it when I have free time. I'm going to stamp that. Could do Happy Spring, but Sending Sunshine is cute too. We'll do the sunshine again. We have been watching that Canadian show that's, oh my God, what's the name of it? With the moms on it. I don't know why I can't think of the name. You have to laugh at it. You watch when you do laundry? So do I, totally. Thanks, Jenny. Thanks, Gary. All right, so this is the Saltwater Taffy. It's a beautiful ink. And I'm just inking it up really good because I always stamp with my stamp positioner, but sometimes it's easier to stamp just with a block. I love the color of this ink. And then we have that little banner. Murderville. I have not. Working Moms. Thanks, Tamara. Yes, I know. Isn't it hilarious? And makes me feel better about my choices sometimes. So, but you have to laugh. Is it on Netflix, Jenny? All right, so we're going to run this through this little banner. And I guess I could have pre-cut it, but all right, so I feel like that yellow tape, that's the Spellbinder's best ever craft tape. It is like, it's nice and sticky that it sticks on, but it comes up nicely. It doesn't tear the paper. So that worked really pretty well. You're not a lazy crafter, Betty. I saw your cards. They're beautiful. And it may seem like I'm adding more details, but I'm just talking through it. I think you probably add more than you realize. All right, so we are going, oh, chocolate coin just fell out of the air. All right, we're gonna stick on our tape. I have to say, I don't think I brought scissors. I do really like, I'm gonna find some scissors. I do really like that foam tape. Here we go. So this is the Scrapbook Adhesives by 3L. And like you saw that I pulled it up a little bit because I needed to shift it over, and the backing comes off really nice. So I do really like that. So then just push that down. And then I like adding a few little sequins, or, like if you were doing enamel dots or something. And this is the picket fence rainbow. So sometimes just adding those little details at the end. I'm trying to be very careful of this because I don't want it to fly open. There we go. I really love this mix. So I'm going to hold it up. There's so many different colors and sizes, and they're kind of iridescent. Vikings Valhalla, Lorraine. Oh, that sounds very cool. Okay, well, we have lots and lots to watch, lots of ideas. I'm going to write those down or put them on my list after. All right, so we've got sequins. And we're just adding 3 sequins, but just, it just adds enough to just add in that detail of shine. And I usually just put 3 sequins. If I'm doing 3, I do like a triangle, or I do 2 or 3 triangles of sequins, and it just seems to flow nicely. Let's do a pink. Okay, so we've got our little sequins on there, and then yeah, it's a nice mix. And then this is the new sparkle glaze. There's a clear glaze as well. So you're just squeezing out a little tiny bit, and then I always just kind of, you don't have to squeeze very much, and then it just dabs on. I'll hold it up after. When it dries nice and sparkly. But I thought just adding that little bit into, we could do the flowers as well. It's those little kind of details that you add at the end that kind of all combine to make your card really fun. The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. Oh, yeah, I started watching that, Cindy. I need to go back to it. So there's our cute little card for spring. We've got our little glittery, that's going to kind of dry down, and then you'll just see the glitter. And our little window scene. So there you go. So if you're looking for any of those things, I think most of those are in the shop. The Lawn Fawn Clover, Tiny Spring Friends, and Window Scene Spring, if you're looking for that. Thanks, guys. And if you want to order any spellbinders, have a look at the Spellbinders website. If there's anything that you're looking for, especially the new releases, just email Sandy at sandy@scrapshotz.com with special order spellbinders in the title, and then she's going to be ordering some in soon. Thanks, Lorraine. Thank you guys for hanging out. It was so much fun, and I have lots more ideas for shows to watch while I'm crafting, so that's awesome. And yeah, I hope you guys have a really great weekend. Enjoy some sunshine and get some crafting in. So I will see you next week, and have an awesome week and weekend. Thanks, guys.